Hello my friends, and welcome to Breakthrough Time 9. This is a series of videos in which I take you to various places of historical interest, and today's video is going to be a bit different because I'm joined by my friend Jim in front. He knows a little bit about today's subject, so he's going to do the talking. He's also a very experienced motorcyclist, so I'm going to ask him a few questions about his history in motorcycling. Stick around. Okay, we're going to leave the bikes down here and take a walk up to the engine house up there. Okay, here we are at Wheal Betsy.
Wheal Betsy.
Wheal Betsy, just outside Tavistock near Mary Tavy. First of all, this is Jim, and thank you very much for joining me today, Jim.
Pleasure, Jim.
This has been a long time coming, actually, hasn't it?
A few months, yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to start off asking you a few questions. I said on the way here you're an experienced motorcyclist. Would
Yes.
that be correct? Yeah.
Yeah, experience over the years, yeah.
So what your current bike is a...
It's a Honda VFR 800X Cross Runner. 3 years old. Very pleased with it.
Very nice.
Very pleased with it.
How long have you been riding?
Since 1962.
Constantly, or
No,
you
I
had
had
breaks
a break.
along the way?
I had a break when we were in Spain.
Yeah.
But apart from that, yeah, most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the blood, Jeff.
How many bikes have you had, roughly?
Oh, no. If I went to add them up, I think you've run out of tape.
Really?
Yeah.
Rough idea?
12,
12 bikes?
12, 15 bikes, yeah.
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 And amongst those, has there been a favourite? Is it the one you've got now? Or?
There's a couple actually. The one I've got now, the Honda, it's very reliable, very comfortable. It suits me down to the ground. So that and a Velocet Thruxton Venom that I had many years ago in the 60s is also my favourite.
You mentioned that one earlier, didn't you, with the clip-ons and rear sets?
Yeah, I found it really comfortable.
Yeah, okay, lovely. This is a question I've been asked by a non-motorcyclist. What was your scariest moment on a motorcycle?
It was when I had the Z1100 B2 Kawasaki. We were in southeast London at the junction of the A2 at the traffic lights. There's two lanes at the traffic lights. I was in the outside lane at the front, car next to me. The lights went to green, but there was an ambulance tearing up the A2, so no one went except the chap behind me who ran up the back of me, and my wife at the time ended up sitting on his bonnet. Right. Which was her last day on a motorbike. Okay. I've got on one since then.
And almost yours, I'd imagine.
Yeah, a bit of damage to the back wheel and the lights and everything at the rear end.
But you were okay yourself?
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah.
And was there any difficulty getting back on a bike after that? Did it put you off at all, or? No, not really, Jeff. It wasn't really. I think moving accidents are the ones where you're a little bit dubious. If you're stationary and someone hits you, it's... Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. It can happen in a car, can't it, anything? Yeah, so, yeah. Right, okay. And what about highlights? Has there been any standout moments above all? Yes, 1967, going around the TT course. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, was that on the Mad Sunday sort of thing, or...? Yeah, no, we went up there for the TT races, and it was the mad day before the... Well, 2 days I think it was before the actual preliminaries took place, and I suppose I'd done it about half the speed that the likes of Hale would have done it at. But it was interesting, very interesting. I bet it was. Yeah. And what bike were you on then? I was on Norton then. Nice. Okay. Okay. One last question. Any advice for new riders? I've had a couple of things. I did an interview with John a while ago. His biggest thing was advanced training of some sort. Yes. Do you know Bandit Man UK? That's a channel I follow. I've seen his channel, yes. His advice was don't outride your guardian angel. Mine rides an R1, so I'm okay. Yeah, I don't know mine. So have you got anything you would sort of advise? I think riding a motorbike is a lot more serious than driving anything else. So you have to wits about. You have to really think for other roaders, especially unfortunately car drivers. Yeah. But if you do what you did on the test, especially the test nowadays, and you stick to that, you can't go far wrong. Remember, generally it's unfortunately the other chap that causes it. That's right. Yeah.
The training courses and that are okay, but for instance, the IAMS course teaches you the way to go around corners. Now, when they say you're taking a right-hand corner, you stick to the left of the road.
Yeah.
Well, a friend of mine done this about 4 months ago, and he met up with a pile of the Great British Loose chippings, and off he came because he followed the advice and kept to the left.
Yeah.
So really, you have to study the road in front and make sure
right,
that you don't come across situations like that.
Treat every bend individually, isn't it? Yeah.
Because you can bet your bottom dollar that on every bend there'd be a sunken metal manhole cover that'd be nice and slippery.
Definitely, It's strategically placed, I'm sure.
Strategically placed,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our look at your biking history. So we'll talk a bit about the mine now, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay. So yes, we're at Wheal Betsy. I've done a ride through time video at Phoenix United mine up near Minions, and Jim contacted me and said it might be worth doing a video at Wheal Betsy. Why did you suggest this one then, Jim? What's different about Wheal Betsy?
Well, nothing really, Jeff. It's a Cornish beam engine house. It's about the same age as the South Phoenix. Mined different articles or different products. South Phoenix was mainly tin. This is zinc, silver, arsenic and lead.
Okay.
But being on the perimeter of the moor,
the
metallic elements within the granite differ towards the end and that. This is the only engine house in Devon.
See, that surprised me.
Yeah.
That did, I mean, it's quite prolific throughout Cornwall, obviously.
It's a Cornish thing. But on Dartmoor, where all the tin mines were, they used water wheels as the power for lifting the ore, crushing the ore and other things.
Yeah, okay.
But in Cornwall they tended to use the beam engines.
Would this be a more sort of labour intensive way of mining as opposed to building leats and water wheels? Or?
Both pretty intensive. I mean, to build that, this was built in 1868, I think this one was put up. And when you consider the beam that was rocking around on the top probably weighed about 30 tonnes, and they had to get that up there.
Wow, yeah.
Digging a leat, I would think, would be somewhat easier.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Right, okay.
But there's also the availability of stuff to fire the water, get the steam up, and that, which isn't a lot on Dartmoor.
No, there isn't.
No. If you notice with the Cornish mines, they're everywhere. Not just on Bodmin Moor, they're all in people's back gardens and everything.
That's right, yeah.
So there's plenty of fuel for the fires.
Yeah, and that was mainly brought in by rail, do you think?
No, I wouldn't think so. I don't think as many of the mines did have railways. It's China Clay Works, the China Clay diggings, that had the railways mainly.
Yeah.
I think that most of this was horse and cart job. And,
was it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This one closed in 1877 when the metallic elements ran out. It was due for demolition in 1954. The electricity company didn't like it. It was in the way of one of their pylons, so they asked the army to blow it up. A chap called A. Hamilton Jenkins bought it. He didn't think that was the right thing to do, destroy it, and donate it to National Trust, who keep it in the good condition it's in now.
Yeah, well done that man, I say.
Well done that man.
Yeah, because they really do stand out, don't they?
Yeah.
They're beautiful to look at.
Yeah, and of course they're all protected heritage sites now, so you can't touch them, even if they're in your back garden.
Exactly, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, brilliant.
Very good. The best one for people to visit, if they are interested in this sort of thing, it's called Wheal Betsy. It's just north of Redruth, and there's 4 of these engine houses in perfect condition, free to get in. It's run by Cornwall Council. Wheal Betsy.
Wheal Betsy, okay.
Yeah, it's a really good site.
Yeah.
It'll take you probably 2 or 3 hours to walk around it.
Oh, that's like an open museum then, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's kept in good condition by the council.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's a good one to go to.
Yeah. Well, this one's only recently had some work done, hasn't it? I'm not sure what they did, bit of pointing probably.
Yeah, I would imagine so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't have bits dropping off, can you?
No. Yeah. We'll have a quick walk around it, shall we?
Yes, if you wish.
Okay.
Right. Well, yeah, this is obviously the chimney. The fire was stoked through the wee opening down there.
Yeah.
They probably used wood and perhaps even peat from Dartmoor to fuel the fire, which produced the steam for the beam engine to work. It was low pressure steam.
Yeah.
It probably had I was thinking this, a 60-inch cylinder, and it was perhaps I don't know, 5 or 6 strokes a minute.
Okay.
And it was used, lots of them had different engine houses for different means. It was either for lifting the ore out of the mine, if it was really deep, pumping the water out, or working the stamps machinery. And quite often men used to travel up and down the mine on the actual rods as they went up and down. They jumped up different levels. Yeah.
Oh wow. By stamps, what was that? The crushing? Or?
Yeah, the crushing of the ore. They brought it up in rock form. They put it in the stamp tray. And these Californian stamps, they called, used to pummel into a powder.
Okay.
Then they used to put it in a bottle, wash water over it. And of course, the heavy tin would settle out, whereas the lighter stuff, sediment, would be washed away. The actual shaft would have been the other side of the engine house.
We'll have a wander around there, shall we? Do you know how deep the shaft would have been? Or
no, not offhand.
They used to work in fathoms.
They used fathoms. They were, quite a lot of them, so deep that the miners used to stay down for 3 or 4 days rather than having to come up.
Oh wow, really? I didn't know
that. Unfortunately, a lot of them died from pneumonia, which was a common ailment because of the damp.
And
the heat. Now what you're standing on now is where the shaft would have been.
Yeah.
So the beam would have come out there.
Yeah.
And would have pumped the water out and lifted the ore.
Oh, it's fascinating, isn't it? Really?
Work of art, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are a work of art.
They are. Just beautiful.
Yeah, the cylinder would have sat on that raised part there, the high pressure, well, low pressure cylinder.
Yeah, they really are wonderful structures.
Oh, they're a work of art. They really are. There's a couple. I think they're down near Minions that are actually lived in. They've been converted into dwellings.
There is a couple, yeah. And there's one they use as sort of an exhibition. Yeah. And some of the materials they were working with, you just wouldn't do these days, would you? No. I mean, imagine the health and safety around lead and arsenic and...
yeah, exactly. Well, they thought arsenic was a medicine, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a hard life.
It must have been.
But as they say, if you anywhere in the world, if you find a hole, you'll probably find a Cornishman down there.
Well, the Cornish did travel the world, didn't they?
They did.
Starting mining and
a lot to Australia and Canada and that.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them would be reopened, although they're talking about opening South Crofty again because the price of tin has gone quite high. So at the moment they're in the throes of pumping out South Crofty. That's at Poole, Campbell. Yeah. But that's only one. The only one they're interested in at the moment.
Is it? Right.
Yeah. Although at Hemerdon they're opening up an old Wolfram mine, tungsten. They're well into doing that actually. Yeah, all the price of metals goes up, and also a lot of the spore heaps of these old mines contain lithium, which is used in, of course, electric batteries. Yeah. They'll probably be digging through that lot soon.
Yeah. It's funny, one company winds up because it's got all it can, and then they find another material that someone else can make money out of.
As far as I remember, there's a chap called, in the mid-1800s, a chap called Jonas Coker, who first prospected for tungsten at the Hemerdon mine.
Okay.
But he ran out of money, as most of them did, and that was it. His old engine, the old steam pulley engine, it's still there, rusted away, but it's still there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, these old prospectors. Got to admire them, Jeff.
You have.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Jim. It's been an absolute pleasure. Nice to meet you again, and thanks for sharing your knowledge on the mining. It was nice to hear about your motorcycling history. I could actually talk to you about that all day, but obviously we have to end it. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there for today. Next meal's on you.
I was waiting for that. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Jeff. Really has.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, there we are. I hope you enjoyed that. That was Wheal Betsy. And that's Jim. Very kind of him to come along. Right turn, Clyde. I thoroughly enjoyed it anyway. Now we'll have a nice ride back across the moors. Nice to get a bit of air through the jacket. It was pretty warm down there.
say thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care, ciao for now, bye bye.